Chat Live. We're here together. We are in Raleigh, North Carolina. Should I say where we're at? We're at the Marriott in Raleigh, North Carolina. They've been very nice to us. It's not very often we're going to do the podcast together, but here we are.
Here we are. It's exciting. We get to be right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's been a good weekend, and we're excited to share with you our adventures.
This is Cap Chat.
You're listening to Cap Chat, the #1 soccer recruitment podcast in the United States. This is Cap Chat.
All right, so fun Cap Chat coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina. It is the visitraleigh.com showcase. We brought our 5 Rush Select high school age girls down here. 600 teams registered to attend.
Mm-hmm.
Over 300 plus college coaches registered to attend as well. So it's been that aspect's been really good. What's your thought as a college coach for this weekend?
As a college coach, it's been crowded sidelines, which I think is a great thing for the players. There's maximum exposure right now for all the players that are participating. So I think it's been accommodating, helpful, and so I think from a college coach perspective, it's been worthwhile for sure.
Yeah. It's been neat to see the exposure, because this is also when we dive into, and I know we talked a little bit, is about there's an NCAA dead period. And a dead period is when you can have no recruitment contact at all with any player during this dead period. And it's really a Division I thing. And right now is the women's dead period. So the only Division I recruiting that can be done is at the showcase for on the women's side. Next weekend, the same thing for the men's. And I know some people have their different takes on a dead period. What do you think about the NCAA dead period?
It had some sense that was made, I think, before all the changes to scholarship and NIL deals. But at this point, I don't see the need for the NCAA to interject when they can. A coach can talk to a player, because I can give a kid $1 million to come play for me, and so who cares when I give the $1 million? It's not like it's then or So personally, but that's I understand that the whole purpose behind it, and so focusing on the sport and yourself and all that stuff, the good stuff behind it's great, but it's a little weird in this day and age.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It is kind of weird, but it is what it is. There's still rules to be followed until the NCAA completely falls apart, which it's probably bound to happen. So, anyway, it's live. It was cold, 20 degrees on Friday and Saturday morning. Tomorrow morning, it's not going to be a difference. So the field we played on was literally frozen. But so you get through some adversity and things like that. But you got a Tyler's trend for us here?
Sure.
Yeah.
I tend to think of myself as a one-man wolf pack, and my wolf pack grew by one.
It's time for Tyler's Trends.
Yeah, I was going through. I had like a whole list of things, and talking to coaches and getting some weird, because we're in like a commitment time too, right?
Yeah, big commitment.
Kids have committed, and the official signing of letter of intents, which who does that even matter anymore either? I'm not sure. Is something as well. And so one thing that I've noticed is that maybe we talked about this. I don't know, but I don't think we put it on the trend. If you're going to turn down a coach,
okay,
you don't have to schedule it. I think that's a little weird. Like, if you really want to have a long conversation about why you're turning them down.
Oh, you mean like schedule, you're saying kids are scheduling a Zoom
I'll
call
talk
to turn you down?
Yeah, next Wednesday at 4:00.
Just
to turn them down.
Yeah.
So first of all, thank you to the student athlete who's being professional and mature.
Yeah.
In this case, though, can I call you real quick? And then just thank them and move on. There's no point in saying, no, 2 weeks from now on Tuesday at 3, can we have a call about our, offer that you made and then turn them down.
Yeah.
So I know that's weird, but I just turn them down. And in today's day and age, unless you have like a long-standing relationship, they offered a huge package, and calling is a nice thing to do, but a text, they're not going to hate you if you text them because you're turning them down anyway.
But you're okay with a text message instead of, does it have to be a phone call?
No, for me personally, it doesn't have to be a phone call. There's probably people out there that will say they respect a phone call, so I get that, but I do think that's a mature. It can be quick and thank them very much. If anything changes, we'll let you know. And move on. So a call is the best, but scheduling it far in advance, and that's just weird. Don't do that. Okay?
Yeah, it's like if you break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you're not going to say, "Hey, can we talk next Wednesday at 5 p.m.?" And you may want to bring your suitcase, just hypothetically.
So it's talk to some coaches. It's just weird. Don't do that.
But what's the importance? Because I think I know your answer. But what's the importance of communicating that with the coach of to turn down the offer?
Well, the bigger trend that is happening across the United States, obviously, is ghosting.
Yeah.
Right. You're talking to a coach. You were very interested in the school's very interested in you, and then you just ghost them. Like, they have money set aside for you, right? So in a mathematical equation, they're counting your money towards like, oh man, if Josh comes to play for me, it's going to cost this much money. All right. So it's really important that you turn them down quickly so they could take that money and go give it to Tyler over here. Okay. So that's why it's of importance for you, is because there are other people that need that scholarship money, that want that scholarship money that you're taking in because you're not communicating with the college coaches.
Yeah. Well, and coaches move on too.
They have to move.
And when they move on from a different job, and now with the transfer portal being so massive, and I think the number that we just heard last week, within 1 week, it was over 2,000 players within 1 week of opening. So the chances of you transferring are right now almost 1 in 4. And so if you're going to transfer and then the coach you just ghosted, there's a chance they may end up at the school you want to go to.
Yeah, they get a new job, and now you're like, oh yeah, I'd be interested in your school now. And they're like, no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
you didn't even tell me no. You just stopped talking.
You just stopped talking to you. So now you've lost that opportunity with that coach.
This just happened to me actually.
Okay,
a high school coach contacted me and said, hey, so and so, what's the status? Are you guys gonna offer a scholarship? And I said, yeah, hey, we offered a scholarship to her in July. She actually came on her visit in September, and then has ghosted me since October 11th. And so the coach said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Is the opportunity still there?" No.
See ya.
It's not there.
Yeah. I think that's a great trend. And again, I think it's the communication needs to be better. We are in a very text world. And so I think even just a text message is better than nothing, but the lack of communication and
I've had email recently too. And it was a nice email. Yeah. I appreciated that. Emailed back, thanks a lot. Good.
Yeah, because you get told no a lot. It's okay to be told no.
Everybody does. That's our job. Yeah. You recruit so many kids, it gets narrowed down. Eventually, you're going to pick the ones that it works out the best.
Right. So again, we are sitting at the Marriott in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're in the lobby. So if people come through, we apologize. We'll see what happens here. Going broadcasting live. That's the fun of broadcasting live from a hotel, nonetheless. But the Fairfield Inn here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and down here at the Visit Raleigh showcase, and got a chance to do that. So I think that's a fantastic Tyler's trend. And
thank you, Ruthie.
We haven't seen Ruthie for a little bit. So So I have a new segment. Okay. So I think I told you my latest addiction has been on my Facebook. I'm on two Facebook groups with parent questions.
Oh boy. Soccer questions.
Yes, soccer questions, and it I tried chiming in and answer some, and then a lot of times I get sucked into this vortex of going into it. So I'm on these, and parents get really wild up, and I think, and so And we'll show this too as I'm telling this. So, Frog, thank you so much. Rush Fest was so fun. That yes, Rush Fest is the premier
We did
event.
have fun.
So I'm on this group, and then I start seeing these things happening. And so there's a segment that I want to do that is the parent questions. We're not making fun of parents necessarily. There may be a couple of times. So we want to kind of, these are parent.
Warning, some viewers may find the following footage deeply disturbing.
CapChat Live presents Parent Questions from the Internet.
Offside.
Questions.
Some viewers may find the
So did you recognize what it said offside? You know who that was?
No.
That was Peter Griffin. Offside.
Offside.
Offside. Okay. So
Okay.
here's.
I'm ready.
You're ready. Okay.
Did my mom submit any of these questions?
Yes.
We're in trouble.
Kathy, leave us alone, Kathy.
First question, Kathy from Illinois says.
Yeah. So we took out the name of this. So, and this I think is a good question. So my 11-year-old really dislikes juggling. Any advice on how to make it more fun or easier? He doesn't quite believe me or my husband's explanation of why it's important, even when we watch the game and the ball continuously flies through the air and the pros control the ball effortlessly. Now, my question, though, is, are the pros controlling the ball in the air because they juggle? How important really is juggling? Is this a fight you want to battle with your 11-year-old to juggle? Like,
I think forcing them to juggle could make them like the game less.
right.
Unless we're talking about like juggling, and then you can add some flames, and flames make it harder.
With the soccer ball.
Yeah,
Now you're dual juggling. Like
yeah.
your feet.
Now-
we should see that. That
now
should be
that
on
would
America's
be-
Got Talent.
yeah,
that would be really good.
AGT halftime of NBA game stuff.
Absolutely. Ooh.
But yeah, like the girl that does the cups that she catches on her head and unicycles. You're onto that.
Okay.
But I think forcing them to juggle is probably a bad move.
Yeah.
Well, now could it help? Sure, it can improve your touch, but playing more, practicing more.
Mhm.
You know what? You could kick the ball back and forth with your kid,
Yeah.
and guess what? The ball goes in the air, and the kid has to bring the ball down, like the
Right.
pros do in your question. So, and then you're spending mother-son time
Yeah.
together. So there are different ways of improving your touch outside of juggling.
Right. I think.
Or as the Brits call it, keep-ups.
Was that what they really call
I don't know.
it?
I think
you made that up.
I might have.
I don't think
Someone
it's called
fact
keep-ups.
check me on that.
Yeah. Can we?
An elevator, because we're in a hotel, I think they call that a lift.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I had to think about it for a second.
Am I right?
I don't know. I don't know what they call it. It does lift up. But someone did say one time when we were talking about juggling is that the best players in the world can juggle. But there's also a lot of good players who don't juggle. And so I don't think it's the end all be all. You see so many players that can juggle 100 times. But they can't receive a ball in the air. Like juggling's easy. Like I shouldn't say easy. It's repetition.
Mhm.
It doesn't hurt, but it's certainly not worth fighting
like-
with your 11-year-old kid.
There was a viral, you might have even sent it to me. There was a viral Instagram video out about the USA men's basketball team.
Okay.
And they did spin the ball on your finger. Like, 'cause
Okay.
they wanted it for like their pictures.
Yeah.
What they found out was there was like 3 or 4 of those guys, they couldn't do it.
What's the value you spend on your finger? You play basketball. What's the value?
There isn't any, like, right? Like, just I don't
looks
know, have
cool.
control of the ball. I
Yeah.
don't know. You're not gonna do it in a game,
Yeah.
but it's like you'd think because they spend so much time with it.
Mhm.
Steph Curry, probably the best shooter of all time, he can't do it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Like those little tricks and things, it doesn't matter, right? You got to.
Yeah.
It's how you apply things in a game.
I think juggling's a waste of time to do it. You see these coaches doing it in training, and like for the first 10 minutes, let's juggle. What a waste of your time, especially in club. You have 2 weeks, maybe two to 3 times a week to train, and you have an hour and a half. Some people have an hour and 25 minutes, and you want to spend the first 10 minutes juggling. You can do that at home by yourself.
Mhm.
That's just me, though. We'll get on a different rant. All right. So here's the one that I am going to make fun of this person. What do you think of this side? How do you wash and dry jerseys when staying at a hotel for a multi-day tournament? In the past, we just haven't bothered, but as these boys get older, they're becoming stinkier. Any tips? So how do you wash and dry? Now, I saw this. I prepped myself for this question. So we're at a Marriott, pretty basic hotel. They have a wash and dryer here. Like, mind-blowing, isn't it? you really have to ask this question of like, how do you wash and dry a jersey when you stay in a hotel? Like,
Well, the boys are getting stinkier as they get older.
okay, sure,
So,
sure.
that causes for tougher times and just hanging them up in the shower, I guess.
But do you really need to ask a group of 20,000 parents tips on washing and drying?
I mean, it doesn't like every town have a laundromat.
Every time there's a laundromat, they have wash and dryer. You can put it in the sink with a blow dryer. What you really need, you need to ask people how to get this.
Maybe there's some like Shark Tank product we don't know about, and that's what she was really out there fishing for, was that crazy Shark Tank idea.
Do you guys need so much validation that you can't even figure out how to wash and dry your, like, I mean, it's a wash and dryer.
More about
every hotel has a wash and dryer. Every hotel. And every hotel at least has a sink with a blow dryer. We had a kid this week just down here in Rush. She got blood nose and it got on her jersey. No one's freaking how you wash it. It's like, just wash it in the sink. You don't have to post anything for parents to review of like, how do you wash and dry this?
I just don't come to me for cleaning tips. I mean, it's not my forte. No,
but you know how to answer that. You'd say, I bet there's a wash and dryer at the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's an easy one.
So those are our 2 parent questions from the internet. We'll keep calculating. If you have questions for us, let us know. We always welcome questions. We won't say your name, but we do welcome questions. There are some really valid questions, but those are questions from the internet. I hope you like that little.
I did. I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
It was fun.
Last one was posted by my wife.
That makes sense about the stinky part.
yeah. Okay, so we talk about showcases a lot, and I think showcases are incredibly valuable if used correctly. I think with every tool, every part of the recruitment process, anything you do in life, like you only get it as much as you put into it. So let's talk about some of the things that we've seen this weekend, college coach side, club coach wise, that people have done well or what people need to improve on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll start with you on what have you seen that people or maybe teams in digital, what has been a really cool thing you've seen this weekend that was like, oh, that's a cool thing to do at a showcase?
Well, I'm not thinking of anything that has been out of the ordinary as far as connection with the college coaches. But QR codes are hot right now, and so I would say that's a really big trend in the brochure game. Some teams are I wouldn't say this is cool. Right? I just say it's different. But the team was handing out business cards.
Oh, interesting.
That's it. And it just had the QR code and the team on one side, the QR code on the back.
What do you think of the business cards? I feel people still like, and I know we're sitting here, but I think people.
Because it was 20 degrees, so I didn't want to take my gloves off and scroll through my phone to look at the team, and so what I ended up doing was using the opponent's brochure, and I wrote down the numbers of the kids I liked on the opponent's brochure. Then I had to search them on my computer later, so.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So I said it's a trend I'm not sure I love, but QR codes are hot. So most of them have them with the player brochures. So like, at the very bottom there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's QR code there. So, and then each player has one, which we do for our Rush kids as well. And so you can see each player's profile through a QR code. So really nothing out of the ordinary, except QR codes are hot right now as I think that kind of number one trend that's happening in brochures.
So speaking of brochures, we got this one from one of our Coastal Rush. I don't think they care, but Coastal Rush, one of our Rush clubs, and I thought this was really neat. Pretty basic brochure. But what they did on the back, which was nice, is they put the showcase schedule on it and then a picture of their home and away jerseys. So if you go to, because a lot of times a coach will go to the game and like, oh, I want to go back and watch them again. And this makes life easier to go, oh, there's a good player on this team. Oh, they're playing Sunday at 9:50. I need to make sure. And then you have what color the jerseys are. So I thought that was, you don't see that enough. I didn't see that.
I like that.
That really stood out.
And it reminded me like who they're playing, who they're going to play next. I thought that was a really good touch by them. And like you said, a couple other teams were doing that too.
Yeah.
So adding their schedule for just that showcase on the brochure, that was a good touch as well. I will say, I had a mom come up to me this morning and said,
ask you how to do laundry.
she didn't.
Eat tips.
She just said, your beard looks nice. No, she actually asked me. I was like, Mom, get out of here. I'm trying to work. they asked what I thought of the brochure.
Oh.
And do you use it? Is it important as a parent? I said, I won't tell you what club I'm from. I don't care what college you're at. I just am asking in general. And I said, it's of the utmost importance that we have to have it. Sometimes there's a third-party vendor that you can go through, but even that's not as reliable. You might make a change up to the last minute on your brochure that you can give to the coaches. So it's of the utmost importance that a college coach has your team brochure. And she said, will you like email a kid from that? I said, yeah. That's how I identify. I identify the player. I email, or that's my preferred method of communication. I email our interest letter, and then that sometimes starts the communication process. So I have to have that. And she said, well, what if you don't have it? Well, then I probably, I wouldn't, maybe I just won't even try to reach out. B, I have to go through the coach. Then I have to wait for the coach. The coach so then maybe goes through another process of them getting the information, and then it's sent to me. So now it's a week or two later sometimes. Or you want like Google shirts or something, I don't know. But that's too much work. I want to be able to identify and contact. So I think for us, we're good to go.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it is like, and I'm going to use some of Tyler's notes here is, I don't want to put too many names on it, but Tyler's making, you can see just the quick notes of athletics. And this person's athletic, this person's aggressive. This one had a place for notes. But coaches use this to take notes on and to be able to recognize. So you go to the field, and I'll give you an example. One of our own select players, they didn't add their jersey number to it. And so she was actually a really, really good player. And one of our younger teams would watch them play, like, who's that number 9? And I hand them the brochure. I'm like, she's not on there. I go, exactly. Remember when we said you have to update your number? So that kid, we have to rely on a coach. A lot of coaches, it's not even worth it. Like, she's not even on here. Like, and you just lost everything. And so coaches use it to take notes, help you remember. So there'll be a stockpile of these. I can just tell you I'm looking at Tyler's pile. Oh, this is Tyler's pile just from today. And then they can take notes on it, and they help identify. So they can watch you play. They say, oh, who's number 22? Oh, that's Peyton. And it gives everything we need to know about Peyton. Her GPA has everything right there, and go, okay, awesome. GPA matters.
Yeah, that's a good thing to have. Sometimes I'm concerned when they don't have the GPA, because I'm like, is it low and they're just not posting it, which is probably smart. But if it's good, you want to post it on there because it makes you, once again, more marketable to college coaches.
Yeah. Have you seen the brochures that you can't write on? I don't know if you have any. Like, they're super, super, like, well, here's a decent example. I don't want to show the name, but like, you can't write on this. Like, there's no room to write on.
Yeah, I had to write on a girl's face. Yeah. And I just felt weird doing that.
Yeah.
So look, right?
Yeah.
I look like I gave them neck tats.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they don't have their whole team on there. So maybe they have some committed kids they just didn't put on there, which is fine.
And their backside's blank, so you could have easily made it dual-sided. So I think, and we go over these brochures, and the importance is as players or parents are listening, it's okay to ask your coaches, hey, what's our brochure look like? If you're part of Rush, we use Productive Recruit to print your brochure for you, makes your life really easy. But if you're not using that and you want to make your own, great. But if you're going to pay the money for a showcase, showcases are not cheap. You have hotels, you have food. You're talking $1,500 to $2,000 for a weekend. You want to maximize your exposure to college coaches. We, as more leagues are happening, things are happening more. There's more hard to get in front of college coaches, and you're going to go to showcase. There's no trophy to give out. Like, you're not here to win. You're here to get in front of college coaches.
Yeah, they don't care about the score. They're only going to be at your field for a certain amount of time, so they'll be able to watch you. So as long as you're showing the best that you have all the time,
right, and
they can identify you with the brochure, better off you'll be.
Yeah, and that's how important the brochure is, and they take it for granted. So let's talk. There's another thing for you. Question, more of a question, and when we talk about showcase, and I know we've talked about it a lot, and I think it's important to keep bringing it up. How many emails did you get in advance? Like, how did you plan who to go watch?
Well, so this one I didn't get as much, but I'm not from here.
Right,
so
right. That's fair.
These schools, the kids probably don't know who we are in Missouri. But, for some other tournaments that were going on, like we had one locally that my graduate assistant went to, right? And so we're going to base our schedules around those players that contacted us and their game schedules. And so she probably watched as many as she could get to, probably 20 kids today, because she's one person and you gotta devote the time. And so if there were other kids that wanted us to come, and this did happen actually, we had our schedule, and then a kid came through the third-party app. Okay, so a lot of showcases partner with a third-party app. This one was called Event Beacon, where all the rosters are on there. It's pretty hot right now. Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Pretty hot.
Anyway,
kids are using it.
She just liked my school that I was attending this showcase, and I think that was her way, because I had recruited this kid before, that they were interested in us coming to watch them. Didn't have her schedule, didn't send me all that, and so I would have to, me personally, have to go search all this stuff. It's too late, if you want me to come watch you play, contact us with a formal email and that you want us to watch you play. Don't like me through Event Beacon.
Yeah.
Right. And so there are better ways to do it. But yeah, we plan it around. Those are the kids that we want to watch, the kids that want us to watch them. As a college coach, you want to recruit the kids that want to be at your school.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you want to sneak a couple of players that maybe think they're at a better level in at the, as well as like your other list of goals that you're going after for players.
Right.
So that's how we would schedule it. Yeah. And so depending on where you are, the list will vary as far as like how many kids, bigger schools, state schools, they're going to have hundreds of emails of kids wanting to see them play.
Right.
The top Power 4 conference schools, higher level Division 1 and 2 schools, they're going to have like every kid email them. Right.
Yeah.
So they're going to plan differently upon who they have rated as their top recruits to go watch first.
Yeah, that's valid.
The rest of the country, smaller schools like me, you're going to look at kids that want to look at you.
Yeah. But I think the importance is as you as a player, you as a parent or coach, that you got to make this effort. And it's, if you don't ask the question sometimes, especially if you're, because you see a lot of club coaches that will stay with the team and kind of grow with them, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But so when you go to your first showcase, your coach may not know you need a brochure. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, these are the important questions to ask and say, do we have a brochure? Oh, you don't? Okay. How do we make one? What do we need to do? That's a good question to ask on the internet. Hey, parent, how do you make a brochure? Because it is so important in the process. Coaches expect it. Mm-hmm. The best teams I've seen that they had managers that would walk around and they hand brochures out as soon as you sit down. It's like an exchange. Here's my card. Here's my brochure. Mm-hmm. It's super simple.
Yeah, as a college coach, I brought all my business cards, right? And so every time I get a brochure, I give back a business card with, our school on it, my name and information, and they can hopefully they share that with their team. That at the end of the showcase, these are all the teams that came to watch you. If you're interested in checking them out or whatever it might be, you might be hearing from them. If you want to thank them, things like that. So it's a good, like you said, a good trade.
Did you see anything this weekend that stood out in a negative way? Like, ooh, you shouldn't. Maybe let's not do that again. Anything that stood out like or laughable, like anything that really kind of stood out to you?
I mean, yeah, there was a team. I was not watching this game. It was the one behind me, and the team was kind of just in goof off mode, like during the game, like laughing, like having fun, but then like, joking about the play, like during the play, like during the run of play, like, oh, you could have got that. Oh, shut up. No, you could have like being, too funny about things. Like, so there's a line of being relaxed and then being silly to where I was like, I'm not recruiting these kids.
Yeah.
So that was this morning. I did see that, which turned me off. I was like, like, that's too relaxed. I don't know why you're here if you're just going to joke around, and I think it was a little bit of a younger age too. So like sophomore, freshman in high school age. So
prime recruitment age.
Yeah. So that was definitely a interesting thing that I don't see, I guess, every tournament.
Yeah.
Did you?
Nothing that, what I tell you what stands out, and I don't know how much it matters. Maybe this is just my mind goes to is overcoaching in a showcase. Like, everyone likes to win, and you do need to take things seriously. I agree with you on we're here to play and we're here to showcase yourself the best. But it's also when coaches lose sight that ultimately we're here to get showcased. And so if are you taking it too seriously? Are you yelling at your players? Are you sucking
the opposite end of the spectrum?
Are you sucking the fun out of your players that they're like, now they're nervous because
am I waiting like, okay, I'm here to see number 30?
Yes.
Like,
Is 30 making a decision, or is the coach making a decision?
Like, she's still not in the game.
Right.
It's a showcase.
Correct.
You're not going to win a trophy. She, maybe knows I'm coming to this game.
Right.
Get her in so she can show me what she can do.
Correct.
Right? I'm halfway across the country for my school. I won't be in front of her every day.
And you missed that opportunity.
Yeah, so that'd be all because you're overcoaching. You're trying to win the game. You're trying to, you're not playing kids. That happens, and that's a tough line to toe, I think, from a coaching perspective sometimes. But you have to realize the main importance of what you're at. It's a showcase to show the kids to the college coach.
For sure. So yeah, I saw that. I definitely saw kids not taking it seriously. I think on the women's side, generally they tend to be a little nicer to referees. Mm-hmm. You see on the men's side, which we'll see next weekend, which is a wholly different topic, is the men when we talk about kind of the nonverbal communication. So if you have a son or you are listening as a young man, the nonverbal communication matters. When you get fouled, you get up and argue. All those things, you got to understand your setting and the environment that's happening. Is those things matter, and you could be a really great player, but if you got a crap attitude every time you get fouled, you complain or you yell at your teammates. I didn't see it with the girls this, which is really, really good. Next weekend I'm back for the boys. I think I'll see it more. Yeah. But those things matter. All those things you do on the field, and you said it on the first night here, is that the minute you pull into that park, you're being watched. Mm-hmm. And some coaches branded, some coaches don't. Some coach may look like a parent, and you may walk by there, as the kids say, spilling some tea, and the coach cheers you like, oh. So some coaches are unbranded. Like most of our games, we saw 20, 30 coaches sitting there. There may have been more that we missed, or some that kind of blend in. And you never know who's listening in these showcases. Yep.
Always have to be on your best behavior and marketing yourself the best way the whole time you're at the complex, even at the hotel, things like that.
That's a good
point. Out at the restaurants, so in the public eye, be the best you.
Yeah. Hotel's a good point, because if you're at a hotel, you never know who's in the elevator. You don't know.
Could be a college coach.
Yeah, it could be. So let's talk real fast. After the showcase. Okay. What do you recommend? Should you email all the coaches? Should you how do you? What's the thought process there?
First and foremost, you should email the college coaches that you invited to come watch you play.
Okay.
It does not matter if they came to a game or not. Your recap of the showcase, while thanking them, should tell them what happened. My team did this. I played this position. Hopefully you were able to come watch. I really look forward to the next steps with you and your program. If you want to say about those next steps, where everybody's at different places with like visits and calls and just communicating through email still. So kind of understanding your next steps is important. And it's okay to ask that question, what are the next steps? But that's important. So the coaches that came out and watched you play, respond or reach out to all of them. 2, the new coaches now that have contacted you.
You're getting a lot of that.
And you're going to get a lot of that, right? So, hey, whatever, my name's Tyler Tomlinson from Culver. We identified you, thought you played well. This is the information about our school. Respond to all of them. Even if you're not interested or you know it, right? I would still, take them into consideration. Thank you for the email, coach. I'll look more into your college. That's a response.
And that goes back to responding, because I know you're not leaving Culver, but you may leave Culver and go to a Division II or wherever, and now that kid's interested in your school, and you've completely been ghosted by him, and you probably won't get recruited for that new school.
So respond to those emails and be professional about that. Maybe it opens a new door to you, because they obviously saw something in you. They value you as a player. So take that chance. And then if your club does provide a list of schools that didn't reach out to you, and you didn't reach out to them, but they were at your game, maybe thank them as well for coming out and watching you. That could open up a whole new level of doors that you weren't thinking about before. So I'd say those are the 3 approaches that I would take. They all involve your work as a player and your persistence.
So even if you don't know if coaches came to your game, email them anyways if you invited them.
Absolutely, because they could have stopped by. They're busy. They have a lot of games to watch. So their goal is to see you, if that was, part of the plan. But regardless, also understand that some college coaches sign up for showcases and don't go. Right? There was we talked about 5 showcases throughout the country right now that were really popular for girls soccer. And so guess how many I signed up for? 5.
Oh, you cheater.
Right.
Oh.
And we actually made it to 3 as a staff, which was really good. Right. In different parts of the country. But, once again, they might not have made it. They just sign up. It's okay. But you could start a communication with that college coach based off of you going to that tournament and then registering for that tournament. And now you're talking.
Okay. I think, yeah. So important, the showcases. So we can ramble up for showcases. I think it's probably our most talked about topic, maybe besides highlight videos. But so I want to end on 2 shout outs.
Okay.
So one, rush coaches, James Beatty, NJCAA, Northwest Mississippi Community College, won the national championship for JUCO Division II.
Congrats, Beatty.
Yeah, that's
pretty awesome.
A huge deal. National championship, rush coaches with Lobos Rush in Memphis. So big shout out. Another shout out to our own Jacob Lissig. By the time this goes on, I think he'll also be playing. He's in the Final Four of the NCAA men's, which will be next weekend in North Carolina, whenever you're watching this. So December 14th weekend, so Denver University's in the Final Four NCAA Division I men's, which is awesome.
Congrats, Jacob.
Yeah, congrats, Jacob. Congrats, James. Mr. Beatty. We'll give a shout out to our own Steve Axtell. He always makes NCAA tournament, and but those are big things. We like to say, Rush. We have over 80 college coaches that coach in the Rush system, so there's a lot of resources here, and so continue to reach out. And so Tyler, as always, you get the final word coming to you from Raleigh, North Carolina, at the Marriott. I don't know what kind of Marriott this is.
I just want to give a shout out to Sam Gloves.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam. Yeah. We do live streams, so we do get some random stuff. That was a random comment over there. He likes surgical gloves, so we didn't post that one though. So
that's not us.
Thanks, Sam, for listening to our non-surgical glove talk.
Sorry,
of no surgical gloves. So we got nothing. So hey, thank you so much for Tyler Tomlinson, Josh Tyler. This has been Cap Chat Live.